If you could be quick, that'd be great.
Thank you, Chair. And I might, if I could ask both questions that I was going to ask you, I might even ask them together to just sort of try and expedite the process. So I'm particularly interested in the National Women's Alliances and bringing those groups of women together. It's often very difficult when you're dealing with disparate groups to get a harmonised voice and to try and bring those voices together. So I'm interested to know what groups you are bringing together and how bringing those groups together is actually helping to crystallise the voices of those groups. So that was originally two separate questions, but perhaps maybe in the interest of time that you might be able to give us those answers together.
And Senator, because in the interest of time, you're asking us, in terms of us being able to help you, you want us to talk to you about how the alliances operate?
Just quickly, briefly, just, you know, what are the groups that you're bringing together and how that's helping to crystallise those voices so that we're getting a much clearer idea of what those groups are representing rather than trying to listen to multitudes of voices simultaneously.
Absolutely. So, Senator, there are 6 National Women's Alliances that are funded by the Office of Women, the Minister for Women being the decision maker, and the great impact of these alliances is, as you say, instead of having a whole lot of individual groupings who might be community sector organisations, the purpose of having the alliances is so that you really can amplify the voice of all of these very many community organisations across different sectors, so that they then have that the government is better able to hear their voice. So I might ask one of my colleagues to maybe go into more detail, but
or maybe just even quickly run through the 6.
Yeah, sure. So we have a waiver, which is the organisation that is aimed at, its purpose is looking at reducing violence against women. I'm probably not going to be able to remember them all, but we have Natsiwa, which is the organisation, the National Women's Alliance for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Women. We have the Harmony Alliance for women from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds.
We have the National Rural Women's Coalition.
That was 4.
What we're up to. Yes, we have Economic Security for Women and the Equality Rights Alliance.
Okay. And just very quickly, are you finding that it's making a tangible difference in ensuring that those voices are being heard in a somewhat crystallised way?
Senator, we do find it very valuable to have these alliances, yes.
And if I may just direct the question to the Minister quickly, whether or not she finds it more effective to hear from those sort of alliances rather than hearing from a multitude of voices overwhelmingly?
Always happy to hear from a multitude, but at the first set of roundtables we held in Sydney, we had representatives of each of the alliances participating in those roundtables, and it was a very good jumping off point for the rest of the consultations that we've done in capital cities and some regional areas. So far, more to go. I hasten to add to colleagues that I have not yet visited, and having them with us was key to really starting that ball rolling.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Hughes. That was very efficient, as you promised.